today we're off to see James Lonsdale from the Woodland Trust, and we're going to visit a new woodland which has been developed by the Trust, and it's for sale. It's called Pioneer Wood. We're on the 170 here, just come out of Helmsley and heading up towards Sutton Bank, and the new woodland is somewhere along here on the right. Coming up to it. Here's the first one here on the right, and I think there's a track between the two, so I'll just pull off here. Oh, and lots of pheasants on the road. And there's James's car down there, I think. So over there on the right we've got one of the lots, and then over there just beyond this arable field is the second one. So we'll go and meet James and find out all about it. And that looks like James wandering up there towards me now.
My name's James Lonsdale. I work for the Woodland Trust on a project called Purchase, Plant and Pass On, and it's where the Trust buys a number of blocks of land throughout the UK, and then we plant them with native trees, and then we offer them for sale. And the idea of the scheme is, I suppose, threefold. One is to increase the amount of native woodland in the UK, which is one of the primary purposes of the Trust. Secondly is to make more woodland accessible for people. So the idea is we buy the land, plant it with trees, and then we split it up so that people can buy smaller lots, and therefore makes it more affordable. And the third reason is to try and demonstrate that there's an economic case for creating native woodland, and that you don't always devalue land by putting trees on it. It was purchased about a year ago by the Trust. It's 20 acres, 2 fields, formerly arable fields. It was planted up last winter. The trees had a difficult time with the dry spring we had, so we've had some losses, but the ones that have survived are getting away quite well. The site was put on the market in the spring and has been available since then in 2 lots. We've improved the access so people can get cars down there.
I mean, we're in the woods, aren't we, because just on the edge of Pioneer Wood here, because of the wind noise. So we'll go out and investigate the site and get down amongst the saplings, because they're not very big at the moment, are they? They're obviously just starting off, and we just, as you might hear a bit of traffic noise in the background, we're just off the 170 heading towards Sutton Bank. Tell us about the mix of trees that you've planted here.
We've gone for a native mix of species that will cope with the exposed site. So there's a mix of oak and ash, wild cherry, and we put in quite a high proportion of native woody shrubs such as hazel, hawthorn, guelder rose and dogwood. So it should serve lots of purposes. It should be able to be of high value for wildlife. It should look very nice. We've put the shrubs against the road edges, so drivers of that busy road will appreciate the colour and the structure of the wood, but also we'll be able to, in time, people will be able to come in and take firewood out, as well as grow high quality timber one day.
Yeah, tell us about the timescales you're looking at, because obviously people often think, why should I buy a woodland, because I might be middle-aged or even older and I'm not going to see the benefits of it, so why should I be interested?
The single one reason why I would suggest people buy woodland is it's fantastic fun. It is a hugely pleasurable thing to do. To be able to have your own little bit of England that has trees on, and you can come out and you can at whatever age you are, you can watch the trees develop. The other nice thing is it's not particularly intensive in terms of time, so there aren't a lot of things that need doing in a very short space of time. So it can become a very pleasurable leisure activity rather than being a very stressful activity. So you can buy it with your heart, and anybody who owns a woodland will tell you it's a fantastic thing they've done. But you can also buy it with your head, in that we've managed to secure some good grant rates on the land, both through the Forest Commission scheme, but also through being able to be able to secure what are called entitlements, which entitles the landowner to a payment from Brussels for maintaining the land in good agricultural and environmental condition. So the annual grants that we've secured amount to about a 4 or 5% return on the value of the land. So both in terms of a return on your investment, but also in terms of a secure investment in these troubling times economically, it's a very good case for putting your money into young woodland. And what the trust has tried to do here is tried to take away all the scary bits. So we've bought the land, we've managed to find, we think, the right block of land. We've dealt with all the legal issues, so there are no legal issues to come back and bite anybody. We've got the grants in place, we've organised the planting and the maintenance. So all the sort of difficult bits have been done, and we're now offering the site for other people to take on and have the fun bits as well as the economic return.
Anybody who's wanting to come and have a look, it's the details. I'll put the link to the website where they can see the prospectus. But obviously they can just drive up here and drive.
They can. Yeah, there's a good access track and a little parking area. We're selling them through an established forestry agent called John Clegg & Co. And there's information on their website. There's information on our website, www.woodlandtrust.org.uk. It takes a little while to find our web pages, but if you're persistent, you'll get there. So that'll give you information on what's here and the particulars of the site.
And this is a wider UK initiative. It's not just here in North Yorkshire. You've got other. Are they all called Pioneer Woods?
No.
All right.
Pioneer was the name we gave this one because it was the first one.
Okay.
So we felt it was sort of pioneer site.
Yep.
But we have another. We have 6 sites in total, dotted through the UK, 1 in Scotland, 1 in Wales, and 4 in England. And we're trying to test the project in different situations. So we've picked different sites with different attributes. So we have a very nice site in West Sussex, for example, which I call my posh site. It's only 50 miles from London. And we have a very nice site in Nottinghamshire, not far from the M1 and the A46, so very good for access. This is the first site that we've planted up. The other sites have just been bought and are going through grant applications, and will be planted up this coming winter. And what we'd like to offer people, not on this particular site but on other sites, is the opportunity to get involved with the site at an early stage. So we've drawn up design plans, but if people were interested in buying the sites at this stage, we would want to work with them in tweaking the design to fit their own circumstances. And we've done exactly that on the site in West Sussex, where we've had offers accepted by 2 neighbours, both who want to do slightly different things with their woods. One is a what we call a sort of lifestyler, somebody who has solar panels on her roof and a wood-fired boiler, and she has horses, so she wants to tweak the design so that she can ride through her new wood. Her neighbour is a dyed-in-the-wool farmer, and he wants to just modify the species mix a bit to produce more firewood and more timber. So again, we're very happy to work with interested parties in making the wood very much their own wood.
And in terms of firewood, because obviously this is becoming a big issue with rising electric costs and gas costs, and people are looking at wood burning stoves are very popular now. So with a new woodland, what kind of time span are you looking? I mean, obviously this would be a coppice type of production that you'd be looking at. So how long would it be roughly before you could start thinking that you might be able to get some wood off it? Are we talking about 20 years or
Yeah, probably about 20 years. So depends a bit on how quickly the trees grow, but what we've tried to do with all of the sites is to have areas which would lend themselves to firewood coppicing. So we've chosen species such as ash, which will produce good firewood, grow vigorously. And we've tried to make the sites all accessible so that you don't have to have a 4-wheel drive to be able to get to your firewood copse, and you can come down in your estate car and load the logs into the back of the car. Yeah. But realistically, it's going to take 15 to 20 years before you get a log-size tree coming out. And it's interesting, the grants that I mentioned earlier on, they pay you up to 15 years, so that's to compensate you for being able to not get any economic product off the site until it's big enough to start harvesting the firewood.
Well, what a brilliant thing to pass on to your children and your grandchildren. I just think with the fuel disappearing, quickly to be able to sort of pass a woodland on to your children. You're securing their energy for the future, aren't you?
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and there are all other benefits of doing it. There's inheritance tax relief that you can get on young woodland.
Oh, right.
So there are lots of different angles that anybody who's interested in buying could look at. But in terms of, you're right, in terms of a pleasurable thing for a family to do, I don't think there are many better things. You're outside. You can go out and do a bit of work with the children. It's a lovely, safe, friendly, joyous environment, really. If you've got a stressful job, go and buy a wood. Yeah, the Trust originally was set up 30 or 40 years ago to protect ancient woodland, and it was felt at the time that ancient woodlands weren't being protected, and the way the Trust could do that was by acquiring threatened sites and looking after them and opening them up to the public where that was appropriate. And since then the Trust has evolved and now does lots of different things, but still is essentially about protecting ancient woodlands, but also about creating new woodlands, and creating new woodlands for essentially for wildlife and for people. So we have lots and lots of different initiatives to try and ensure there's more native woodland created, and our aim is to try and double native woodland cover. And we're doing it less and less by us acquiring sites. We felt that was quite an expensive way of creating woodland and wasn't delivering at scale. So in the last few years we've moved our efforts towards helping other people create woodland. So we have lots of projects, lots of initiatives, lots of ways of supporting people who want to do that. We have teams of what we call woodland creation advisors who will go out and give people advice on how to create woodland. We have lots of initiatives, such as an initiative called Jubilee Woods, which is where we're trying to create a lot of new woodlands to commemorate the Queen's Jubilee in 2012, and we're looking for 60 new 60-acre woods as a sort of flagship project on that.
All right.
So the best thing probably to say is have a look on our website. If you're interested in creating woodland, there'll be some way the Trust will be able to support you.
Are there opportunities for people to get involved as volunteers and assist in the management of woodlands?
Yep, so we have, as Gareth says, an estate of 1,000 woodlands. All of them, apart from a few, are open to the public. We have lots of events going on in many of the woods which people are very happy to get people engaged in. And that can be from doing tree planting, it can be from recording species numbers. We have a team, a volunteer team who can work with people who want to volunteer to do work in the woods. So there's always something going on, and again I'd refer back to our website. If you have a particular local wood that you're interested to get involved with, then have a look on our website and make contact with whoever it is that's responsible for that wood.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.